Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Revonlieke and it's another episode of Gathering Ore in Most World. This time we are going through Wildspire Waste, and this is an interesting one. So one of the reasons why Most World doesn't really need these sorts of guides is because of the ore respawn rate. Another thing is that the ore locations aren't as linear as they were in the past games. Either way, let's just hop straight into this. So what you wanna do in Wildspire Waste is start off in Camp 6. And this is going to require you to do some backtracking a little bit all over the place, but either way, the first outcrop is right here. So you're kind of hopping back and forwards in this area, and I don't think, even though Wildspire Waste has one of the largest outcrop amounts, I think that it takes so much time to collect all of them that it's really not worth it to do this in a long run. I think if you keep doing it like for an hour or something, then it's going to be a big payoff for you. So after you collect that one down there, you need to backtrack and get back inside here. So it's a little bit back and forwards play here, and I totally understand that doing things this way is not really 100% optimal by any means, because of the respawn rate. You could just hide yourself inside some cave and keep collecting items there, or collecting ore. Now, another thing I had to mention on the previous episode, of course, is that this methods do work both on the low rank as well as in a high rank, and most likely will work in Iceborne. We have yet to see if they've changed some of the item locations in Iceborne. Probably not. Probably not. And as I said, this does require you to have some knowledge of how the map layout is, so that you can follow up along. If not, then just pause the video whenever you need to in order to kind of catch up on me. Now, Wildspire Waste really has a lot of ore locations, so it's a very good way to get earth crystals fast in the early game. Something that might happen sometimes in here as well is that Black Diablos or Diablos is over here and is causing you some trouble. So you need to kinda either use the Ghillie Mantle or just equip yourself with stealth, so that the larger monsters don't aggro on you so easily. Or I think it's the sneaking decoration, but it's stealth, the skill name, I think. Now we skipped this one on purpose, that's over here, because we kind of need to go with the flow of the map instead of what's right in front of us, I guess. As I mentioned in the previous episode with Ancient Forest, you kind of want to follow the straightest line with the outcrops. Probably at this point, when we get this ore location over here, the first one is just about to get respawned. So what you might want to do is just go back to the Camp 6 and start this all over again to kind of optimize the run, I guess. But if I would do this for an hour straight, I might as well just keep collecting all the ore locations instead. Now I'm not using the lands quite as much in this area or in this map because there's so many quick turns and things that you need to do, and many of the ore locations are quite close together that it's really not worth it that much to use the charge attack of the lands. Now there is one specific spot where it's going to be very useful, and that's the last ore location, and for that reason you might want to either skip that ore location or use the lands and kinda get yourself there faster. I usually get it even though it's not really worth it because the time it takes to get there. But in general, if you keep doing this for an hour, it's kind of going to balance itself out with your locations as they respawn and despawn, or kind of you collect them and they respawn. Something like this might happen, of course, where Raytheon will just walk by you. She doesn't even care. Generally speaking, that's my intimidator that oh yeah, intimidator doesn't actually affect the larger monsters, it only affects the smaller monsters. Doing this route also you might find some rare pets for you to collect, like right there was a golden hermitar that you could have catched if you wanted. So personally I found most of my pets doing these routes all over again. Now this is the spot where the lance is definitely going to be useful when we hop into our last outcrop. Now, as I said, this is definitely not worth it unless you keep doing this route over and over and over again. Then it might kind of balance itself out a little bit. And the last ore location is right here. That's pretty much the route. And you can just go back to Central 6. And as you can see, this ore location here is just about to spawn. So it's like halfway there. So if you just keep doing this, of course you're going to be faster and faster, and generally speaking you might kind of balance the spawning and respawning of the ore locations. As usual, the amount of items you get from this is quite good. Of course the items differ depending on what rank you are in. If this was low rank you might not get carbonite ore, for example. You might not get dragon vein crystals either, but you might get earth crystals, and those are very important, and you can get like 28 per run. So it's really good way of getting earth crystals, especially if you have the gear for it. Now again, I'll show you guys the equipment I have for these. I have augmented the weapon with slot upgrade so that I can get the aquatic expert. Now this is the only map I think where aquatic expert might become useful, since you are running through the whole area over here which is filled with water, so it might help you there. By the way, I hope that was enjoyable, and I hope you kind of learned something from this guide or this little route, I guess. Those were the ore locations for Wildspire Waste. My name was Revonlieke. I thank you for watching. Bye bye.